हेलो लर्नर्स, एक बार फिर से स्वागत है आपका अपने चैनल इंडियाज लर्नर पर। फ्रेंड्स, आज की वीडियो में हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे क्लास 6 से चैप्टर 7 फ्रॉम सोशल साइंस हिस्ट्री, दैट इज द मौर्य एम्पायर। In this video we are going to discuss the part 2 of the chapter. In this part 2 we will come to know about the Ashoka's Dhamma. Also we will talk about the Maurya administration, art and architecture. दोस्तों, पार्ट 1 का जो लिंक है वो आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगा। तो चलिए अब हम करने जा रहे हैं समराइज स्टडी इन वेरी इजी एक्सप्लेनेशन। प्लीज वॉच द वीडियो कंप्लीटली फॉर बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग। नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट द वीडियो एंड नो विच आर द की पॉइंट्स ऑफ द chapter. So key points of the chapter are: first we will come to know about the Ashoka's Dhamma, which are the means he used to spread the Dhamma. Also we will know about the sources of information we have about it, the Maurya art and architecture, its administration and army, revenue and occupation. At last we will come to know about the reason for the decline of the Maurya Empire. So now let's start with the first topic, that is the Ashoka's Dhamma. Here the Dham is a Prakrit word for the Sanskrit term Dharma, which means religious duty, and it also emphasizes on the principles of non-violence, mercy, charity, truth, respect for elders, tolerance, etc. Ashoka always asks people to love and respect each other, practice non-violence, ahimsa, do charity, speak the truth, obey their elders, respect other religions, be kind to all, including servants, slaves and animals. So, but it did not involve worship of a god or a perform a sacrifice. किसी तरह की मूर्ति पूजा या बलि पूजा में यह विश्वास नहीं रखते थे, बल्कि अशोका धर्म में ज्यादा जोर दिया गया है अहिंसा जैसे सिद्धांतों पर, लोगों के प्रति दया, बड़ों का सम्मान और धार्मिक सहिष्णुता पर बल दिया गया है. He also adopted the policy of winning people over through dharma, means विजय in place of war, means दिग्विजय. तो यहाँ पर अशोकस ने अपने धर्म में के द्वारा लोगों को जीतने के लिए या एक्सपेंशन ऑफ रीजन के लिए धम्म यानी कि विजय की नीति को अपनाया, ना कि वॉर यानी दिग्विजय. तो इस तरह से उन्होंने नॉन वायलेंस को अपनाया है और वायलेंस मेथड को, सारे वायलेंट मेथड को त्याग दिया था. आगे हम पढ़ेंगे which are the means he used to spread dhamma. Let's know about some major means he used. The first is Dham Mahatmas. He appointed officials known as the Dham Mahatmas. They went from place to place teaching people about Dhamma. Also the Maurya rulers used the inscriptions as a medium to spread Dhamma, which includes rock edicts and stone pillars. Mainly 14 rock edicts and 7 stone pillars they have, on which the inscription is given in Prakrit, and the edicts have two kinds of script, Brahmi and Kharosti. Other medium they used, messengers. He sent messengers to spread ideas about Dhamma and Buddhism to different countries such as Greeks, Egypt, Syria and Sri Lanka. So for this purpose he sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to spread the message of Buddhism. And also he set a personal example by strictly following the principle of Dhamma. Also he inspired others to do the same. And many more we know about it, that he also built roads and rest houses and dug wells and do the many of the public development works to spread the principle of Dhamma. So let's talk about the sources of information we have to know about it. First we have the Indica, written by Megasthenes, which was a Greek ambassador. The book includes political system and socio-economic condition of the Maurya Empire. Also we have Arthashastra, written by Kautilya, means Chanakya. In this we can see the way to govern an empire or administration of Maurya dynasty. we have Mudra Rakshas. Mudra Rakshas was a play wrought by Vishak Dutt in Gupta's period. Other information we can get from the Sinhalese chronicles, Sinhalese Samachars, like Deepvams and Mahavams. Also we have rock pillar edicts of Ashoka, and we also have the coins of Maurya dynasty to get the information about the Maurya dynasty and its administration. Now let's know about the Maurya art and architecture. The Maurya period is known for its remarkable artistic achievements. One of the great monuments of the Maurya reign is the loin capital at Sarnath in Varanasi. It has four loins facing four directions. Below each of the loin there is a wheel or a chakra. Also the loin capital is recognized as a national emblem of India. Also we have stupas, in which the Sanchi Stup near Bhopal is the most famous. Also we have Buddha Vihar or the monasteries in their art and architecture. Let's talk about the Maurya administration. Maurya administration can be divided into four divisions: central, provincial, district and village. The administration of the city of Patliputra was separate because the Patliputra was the capital of Maurya dynasty, as we already knew that. For the central division, the king was the highest authority. He took all the important decisions related to the empire. He was assisted by a council of ministers called Amatyas. They acted as a king's advisors. The various branches of administration like revenue, trade, welfare and army, etc. were governed by these officers. For the provincial division, which was headed by royal princes or kumars, which worked as a king's representative and was helped by many officers like Mahamatyas and council of ministers. Now for the division at the district level, these provinces were further divided into districts, and the Pradesth was a head of district. He was aided by the Yuktas and Rajuks who surveyed the land and collect taxes. Also they maintained law and order. For the division of villages, each village has a headman, was assisted by a council. Villagers helped government officials in marking the village boundaries, maintaining land records and collecting taxes. So now this kind of administration was there under the Maurya Empire. Now let's know about the Maurya army, its revenue system and occupation one by one. So now let's first talk about the Maurya's army. The Maurya kings maintained a large and regular army. The soldiers were well equipped and well paid. The army was divided into 6 divisions, including horse soldiers, chariot soldiers, elephant soldiers, foot soldiers, transport, navy, and there was also a very efficient spy system, many of whom were women. Now let's talk about its revenue system. As we all know that the taxation is a chief source of revenue for a ruler, and land revenue form the largest part of the tax revenue. Here there were the many kind of taxes were imposed on the people. The first one is the agriculture tax. Farmers had to pay 1/6 to 1/4 of their produce as tax in cash or other kind. Tax was also levied on forest, mines, customs, trade, etc. And there were road tax and water tax also were imposed on the people, and also they received tributes from various parts of the empire and also from foreign envoys. But there was no tax imposed on the monks and priests under the Maurya dynasty. Now let's know about which are the occupations. In the Maurya period, most people were farmers, and other occupations included artisans, traders, many of them worked in Maurya army, government officials, also some people were herdsmen. All these people served in the different ways for the Maurya dynasty. Now, at the last, let's talk about which were the reason for the decline of Maurya army. कौन से ऐसे कारण हुए जिनके कारण मौर्य साम्राज्य जैसे पहले साम्राज्य का समृद्धशाली साम्राज्य का पतन हुआ. The Maurya Empire began to disintegrate after the death of Ashoka, and Ashoka died in 232 BCE. The major reasons of the decline were the weak successors. Ashoka's successors were weak rulers who failed to exercise control over the vast extent of the empire. Other reason is that revenue reduction. Reduced revenue made it difficult to maintain a large army. Cheating by governors, corruption and cheating by governors were also a main reason behind that. Corruption is in state administration were there, for because of it administration were collapsed and the roads were neglected, affecting trade and communication between different parts of the empire. So this was all the major reasons for the decline of Maurya Empire, and the last ruler of the Maurya dynasty was Brihadrath, who was killed by his army commander-in-chief Pushyamitra Shunga in 185 BCE. This brought to an end of the glorious Mauryan age. So, now we have discussed all the main topics of the chapter. We are at the end of the video. Thanks for watching the complete video. Please do like and comment and subscribe my channel for more such videos. Thank you.